All right. Good morning, everybody. It's the Fantasy Sports Boss. Fantasy Football Week 10 already underway. We have already had a Thursday night game, and we have this awful Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots slop fest in Germany as the NFL continues to just try to make money hand over fist at the expense of putting on really bad products at inopportune times. But, we have a long day ahead of us, Week 10 already. So we are in the stretch run 5 weeks ago until the fantasy football playoffs for most leagues. So listen, we got to start winning games. I know for myself and my friends and family league, I have to win today. Like absolutely have to win, no doubt about it. I'm 5-4. I'm slipping badly. 7-2 in my work league, much better footing there. So a lot at stake for yours truly as well. However, I got James Conner back. I got David Montgomery back. Still waiting on Justin Jefferson, who was not activated, but all reports indicated he will return next week. And that is huge if you're still alive in your league, getting Jefferson back. I know his absence, now 5 games, put a major hurting on your team, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Jefferson is coming back. Now, Ja'Marr Chase, the consensus number 2 fantasy football wideout. Very, very questionable. 50-50 for sure to go today. He was out doing a workout this morning, going through the whole route tree, jumping, cutting, all that stuff. No word yet on what his availability is going to be. We will find out at 11:30, which is just about a little less than a half hour away. We also learned TJ Hockenson will be on a snap down. So he's hurting with this rib injury. Like this is something that's been dogging him for a couple of weeks. It sounds like it's just getting worse, not better. I already told you Brandon Powell is a very intriguing under-the-radar pickup this week because KJ Osborne himself is out with a concussion. And Jordan Addison, you might be thinking, all right, Jordan Addison's going to ball out today with Hockenson limited. No, he's got Marshawn Lattimore, a rookie going against Marshawn Lattimore. I don't care how talented you are. That's going to be really difficult. So I think Brandon Powell could be the pickup of the day for the Minnesota Vikings. So, but as far as Hockenson, you're still starting him because he's a tight end. But it may be a little dicey, a little volatile in terms of his numbers. Zamora, I mean, you got Taysom Hill. It's hard to sit Hockenson, but Taysom Hill has been so unbelievably good. I'm riding him for sure this week. That's a flip of a coin. I don't even want to answer that question because I'm afraid I'm going to be wrong. Given what we're seeing with Hockenson. And a lot of times these reports on Sunday morning end up being wrong. So I still would go Hockenson because he's the more talented player and he's, he should still be heavily involved. Schultz or McBride today? Definitely Schultz. So no Nico Collins today. Tank Dell's going to be the focus defensively. So Dalton Schultz, who's been really good the last couple of weeks as we're getting ready to start the second half of New England and Indianapolis. Dalton Schultz is going to have a big day today. I think Dalton Schultz is really going to go crazy. Give Ridley and Aaron Jones to get Javonte and DJ Moore. No, I wouldn't do that. Adams, Dotson, or Addison. Wow, the fact that we're even having a discussion about Davante Adams with Addison and Dotson is telling. I'm still going Davante Adams. Curtis Samuel is going to put a hurting on Dotson. Addison has Marshawn Lattimore. I'd rather have Davante Adams. Although he doesn't have an easy assignment as well, whether it's Sauce Gardner or DJ Reed, who is the number 1 ranked cornerback by Pro Football Focus, not Sauce Gardner, who's 8th. It's DJ Reed, his teammate, who's number 1 in the NFL. All right, now as far as this game today between New England and the Colts, obviously it's beyond apparent. Mac Jones is just not the answer. I mean, he's got the worst body language you could imagine. He gives off that preppy, prima donna, I'm better than you vibe that I just can't stand from an NFL player and especially a quarterback. The body language is just horrible. And for your quarterback to act the way he has acted the last couple of years, he hit Sauce Gardner below the belt earlier this season. If I was Sauce Gardner, I would have absolutely popped him. That's just disgusting behavior from a guy who's supposed to be a leader of a team. But Mac Jones is going to be pushed out after the season. They're going to have to try again. Now, is it going to be Bill Belichick as a coach? That's the $1 million question. Rachaad White or Monty? Rachaad White, because he's going to be heavily involved still. While Monty, we got to see what the workload situation is going to be. Now, I'm very fascinated by that. Monty and Gibbs, who's going to get more work? Stroud or Kyler Murray? Definitely Stroud, because Kyler Murray, it's a good matchup, but we got to see how willing he's able to trust his legs, and certainly there's going to be rust as well. Michael Pittman's having a nice day again, and Honestly, Michael Pittman has been tremendous all season. And now, how about this? Michael Pittman in the first half of that game catches a pass and he goes down at like the 1-inch line. I actually thought he scored. And there's a matchup in my league where one person has Pittman, the other has Taylor, and of course Taylor then takes it in on a literally less than a 1-yard touchdown. Like that's the stuff that would drive me absolutely ballistic if I was a Michael Pittman owner. I'm sure there were a few already today that had to deal with that. Just one of those things in fantasy football that would absolutely make me irate. Pittman, another catch, flag on the play. I mean, it looks like a face mask. Michael Pittman is really having a big day today. Jonathan Taylor, not as much. Remember Mac tripping that guy? Yeah, Mac Jones. All right, offensive pass interference. So Pittman, that does not count. Yeah, Mac Jones trip. Yeah, he's just a jerk. Are we scared of the Jets defense? Go Raiders that took the points. We're definitely scared of the Jets defense. Jets defense is really good. I mean, their pressure rate is right there at the top of the NFL. And of course, they have the 2 shutdown corners. They got the best linebacker right now. Chris Godwin dealing with an illness, expected to play today. Just wanted to pass that along. So yeah, Aaron, he does not do checkdowns. You're right. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Javonte or Madison? I'm going Javonte. I mean, Madison, listen, the opening is there now for a big workload going forward with no Cam Akers, but he hasn't been very efficient. It's really just volume for Madison. And if you see me looking to the sides because I'm watching the game, Michael Pittman every time now getting targets. So if you have a Michael Pittman owner, you're off to a good start today. With Chase not 100%, they'll be a much closer game. Singletary was really bad last week. And Chase, if he plays, how many snaps is he going to play, right? I mean, a back issue, it sounds like he's in a lot of pain. Boyd over Olave. I could never put Boyd over Olave, Steve. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. 178 to 8-man football moving on. Oh, yes. So thank you, Mark. So we won 49-13 yesterday. So 2 blowouts and 2 playoff games. So we're going to the semifinals, which will be at Stony Brook University, which is actually my alma mater, and Gardner Minshew gets picked. My alma mater, Stony Brook University, where I graduated, we're having the semifinals Friday night at 7:30. So no football Friday this week, guys. I apologize. 2 blowout wins. We're playing really well. Our quarterback threw 4 touchdown passes and a 2-point conversion, so he was just unbelievable. It was one of the gridiron greats of New York this week. So, yeah, I mean, this could be the year. I've never won a champion state title, but hopefully this is the year. Keaton JSN or Trent Irwin. JSN has a good matchup. I don't trust Keaton Mitchell. I think you're going to be careful with him today because he's got a hamstring. Who would you start at flex, OBJ or Jameson? OBJ. OBJ is really starting to take off. And now, listen, Lamar Jackson owners, you're going to start seeing the Lamar Jackson numbers now. I know it's a tough matchup against the Browns, but he's going to be running. He's going to have to throw a lot today. It's been very positive game script the last couple of weeks. They've been blowing everybody out of late, but they're not going to be able to do that against the Cleveland Browns today. And I think, Deshaun Watson is in for a rough day as well. If Deshaun Watson can play well against the Baltimore Ravens, who look like the best team in football right now, then I'm willing to say he's back. Because if he can ball out against the Ravens, that's respect, right? I mean, we got to be real. So I think that Deshaun Watson is playing, he played good last week. He's starting to show signs now of finding his groove in this offense. Trading Gibbs is the upside. Yeah, I mean, listen, David Montgomery is not going away. They really like David Montgomery. And Dan Campbell is a big proponent on pass protection, which David Montgomery is so much better than Gibbs. And Montgomery is a complete back. Even though he doesn't get a lot of passes thrown his way, he caught a boatload of passes with the Bears and in college at Iowa State. He's capable of doing that. And, of course, around the goal line, he's money. And they're going to give it to him instead of Gibbs. So Gibbs's upside is capped. In a standard league especially. In a standard league, he doesn't really have that much value because he's not going to have the touchdowns. PPR league obviously has much more value. He's a high-end 2 right now. Could be a low-end 1, depending on how much work he gets today. And again, that's one of the central storylines of today that I'm willing to see is how much work he gets. So, we'll just have to see there. Thoughts on Browns defense? Tough matchup today, but they're legit. They're a top 3 defense. They are right at the top of the league. I think Seattle's a good matchup today too. The Jets have a good matchup defense. I mean, even the Raiders the other way. The Raiders have been getting after it. I know Max Crosby is beat up. He's got a knee issue, but they're playing really well. I thought the funniest thing during this game, by the way, this morning is when the crowd was singing Sweet Caroline while the Colts were running a play. I thought that was pretty funny. Would y'all do Devontae Adams versus Sauce or Ridley? I would do Ridley. I don't trust Devontae Adams, especially in this offense for Aiden O'Connell. Will Kenneth Walker bounce back? I mean, he should. Seattle, Ezekiel Elliott's really running well today. And Seattle, this is a good matchup for the Seattle offense. It's a get-right spot for them. DK Metcalf, who is not having a good year. Tyler Lockett, massively inconsistent. I think this is their opportunity now. As far as Kenneth Walker, I've never been a big fan of his. Incomplete back I know he's caught a few more passes this year, but that's not his strength. He's always hurt. And Charbonnet is probably the most talented backup running back in football right now. That's how good he is. So, it's interesting this game too. Ezekiel Elliott, did he just fumble there? Ezekiel Elliott's running better than Ramondre Stevenson. And again, if you're a Ramondre Stevenson owner, it's been really solid. Not great. It's been solid the last couple of weeks, but it's you still have Ezekiel Elliott that's taking quite a bit of the workload. JSN over Trent, yeah, I would have to do that. I can't, especially down the stretch. I'd rather have JSN. Hey, would you start Hawk with the snap count or Flowers? Flowers hasn't been much involved either. I think I would still go Hawkinson because I think he's got a better chance to score. Even on limited snaps, he's going to be the first read because, again, Addison on Lattimore, Josh Dobbs, who could be a tough day for him, he's gonna look Hawkinson's way. I got Boyd and Dobbs starting. Listen, I don't want any part of this Green Bay offense. I think the Steelers actually are a good bet, -3. That's one of my picks this week. Steelers -3, 3 games over 500 coming into today. I do like the Steelers -3. They've been playing really well. Well-coached team. Listen, Trent Irwin, if you need to do it, nice run there by Ramondre Stevenson. Then could he go boom? Of course. They're going to need to throw the football probably, and they're not having T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, his stat is very much up in the air, which we're going to find out in about 17 minutes. That's why I like doing these streams for the 11:30 Eastern time injury update because it allows us to plan things out. And if you started Josh Downs today, I think he only has the one catch. He's been limited too. I was shocked that he played. He didn't practice all week. So, all the respect in the world for suiting up, but hopefully you didn't start him in fantasy. Would you play 49ers defense over Browns? Yes, I think I would. And don't forget, they have Chase Young now. And I think it's a better matchup. Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson, listen, he's running better, but, Belichick has never been one. I think the last time he, leaned on a number one running back was way back with Corey Dillon. Anybody that's old enough to remember Corey Dillon, I think that was really the last time. Once James White arrived, he was always going to be part of a committee. So I think Corey Dillon was really the last one. Thoughts on these underperformers? Bijan, Pollard, Ridley. So listen, one at a time. Bijan Robinson, all it has to do is the coaching. So I'm not worried about him in the least. Like, he's the number one player in fantasy if he had pretty much any other coach. As far as Pollard, I think it's a size issue for him. I think he's dealing with the effects of not having Elliott spell him. He's getting pounded a lot more than he's used to. So I think that's an issue. And now they're opening up they've decided to focus on CeeDee Lamb, and the results the last couple of weeks speak for themselves. And finally, as far as Ridley, Delj, it's a numbers game. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, ETN out of the backfield, Zay Jones when he plays. It's a lot of bodies. Somebody's going to be left behind every week. Same thing with the Eagles with Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, although it's really got Mac Jones just holds on to the ball way too much. He sucks so bad. You can't root for the guy anyway. But target competition. That's what it comes down to with Ridley. And honestly, I was wrong about him. I was really to the moon with him, and I wanted him in drafts. Him and Olave were the two guys I didn't get that I wanted more than anything. Chase Young or Crosby. I got to go Crosby. Listen, the Jets' offensive line is a mess still. Even a hobble Crosby, I think, is a really good bet to get a sack today. Chase says, go. We start Irv Smith and just roll Otten. I think I might go Irv Smith in that scenario because he's athletic. He can catch the ball. So yeah, I think so. Chase Young, what's going to put the 49ers over the moon is if Brock Purdy can rediscover his form because he hasn't been good of late. A lot of issues for him with consistency. And did he just miss that field goal? He did. Oh my God. Now, if that's not the topper right there for the New England Patriots, I mean, God, chip shot field goal. What a disaster. Will Fournette get elevated? I would think he would. Not sure what the workload's going to be, but again, I've said this consistently. James Cook is going to be the one that gets hurt here. Yeah, the New England backs are doing good, but they just don't have a quarterback. And the fact that they're doing as well as they are with Mac Jones and having no threat of the pass speaks to how good Elliott and Stevenson have been today. Is Ridley tradable now? Listen, he's coming off a good game, but also he's a little out of sight, out of mind coming off the bye. I still would hold him. I really still like Ridley. I'm, call me a sucker, but I still would hold him. I have the same nerve situation. I did Otten so far. I mean, yeah, Otten's playing well. Godwin is sick, so Ryan Kelly ruled out with a concussion, his second concussion. That's not what you want to see if you're the Colts center there, Ryan Kelly. Listen, I think whether you go Otten or whether you go Irv Smith, I think it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other. The only thing I'll say about that is Godwin and Evans are two alphas. Whereas if there's no Jamar Chase and no T Higgins, Irv Smith might be the top target, other than Tyler Boyd, rather. So that's the only thing I'm talking about there. Yeah, Lex, we just found that out today. He's sick. This flu has been going around the NFL for a while now. So, whether it's flu or COVID, who knows? Nobody even reports any of that anymore. So, I don't think it's going to bother. These guys usually don't ever sit out when they're sick. Pick one, tight end, full PPR, Musgrave versus Pittsburgh, Otten versus Tennessee, Juwan versus Minnesota. I like Otten in that scenario. Tennessee, the way to beat Tennessee is to throw the ball. And now they have a quarterback who could keep the game competitive and keep the passing game going for Tampa Bay. Like Will Levis is playing well. I know I had my reservations about him initially coming into the NFL, but he's been pretty good. But it did help that he ran a pro-style offense in college. And I think that's something that needs to be examined a little bit more closely when evaluating quarterback prospects. And this upcoming draft, we might see 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. Like, no joke. You have Drake May. You have, the kid from USC, Williams. Those are the top 2 right there. Then you have Michael Penix and Bo Nix and J.J. McCarthy, probably that next tier. And then Shadur Sanders. We could have Caleb Williams. That's what I meant to say. We might have 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. And I think guys that come from a pro-style offense should have a little bit more, of less of a learning curve, at least when it comes to the NFL. Trade deadline coming soon. Would you trade Bijan or write it out? I'm going to write it out. He's just such a talented player. I'm going to write it out. Irv Smith. You see, yeah, Dylan, it comes down to Irv Smith for Otten. How about this? If Chase is out, then I would go Smith. If Chase is playing, then I go Otten. Magic Jones. Yeah, Mac Jones just saw, and he's just a disaster. He really is. And I can't root for him. I put Mac Jones in that Josh Rosen, who was that guy? Johnny Manziel, entitled, silver spoon quarterback who, just thought everything should be handed to him. And, doesn't take, oh man, what a hit. Doesn't take any responsibility. A guy that doesn't inspire his team. And that's why those guys washed out so quickly. And Mac Jones looks like he's going to follow suit. Like, nobody wants to play for a quarterback that acts like that. I'm sorry. It's just not, it's not very becoming. You want to and listen, say this about Daniel Jones, who, has not played well, although he showed much more than Mac Jones to this point. Always hurt. But Daniel Jones stands up in the locker room every week and takes the bows and arrows from the media. And New York media is unrelenting. But Daniel Jones stands up there and he takes the heat. He doesn't show up teammates. He's a class act. And then you have this clown, Mac Jones. What a difference between the two first-round picks that are really, not seeing their careers exactly take off. But they both comport themselves in very different ways. Which, again, makes it hard to root for Mac Jones and makes it easy to root for Daniel. Like, I really like Daniel Jones. Like I said, I've met him a number of times, and he's always been extremely nice and generous with his time, talking to my kids. Like, he's just a good person. And it's really sad what's going on with him. The neck and now the ACL, and the Giants are going to have to draft a quarterback. they're in this perpetual loop of hiring a coach every 2 years. The quarterback has been a mess for, yeah, certainly the last couple of years. Eli Manning, Eli Manning, the end of the Eli Manning era was a mess. He didn't play well, and maybe stayed a little too long. But Eli Manning was awesome, the first 10 plus years of his career. And then things ended badly. And then Daniel Jones, we've had a lot of fits and starts with him as well. So, we'll just have to see. If you're a Gardner Minshew owner today too, not good. And I'm a fan of Minshew. I think he's got talent. He's that guy who's, right on the fringe of being starting a capable starter or a top backup, like Case Keenum, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the greatest backup quarterback in the history of the NFL. I don't think there's any comparison. He, no doubt about it, is the best backup quarterback who's ever played this game. One of my all-time favorite players. I actually met him too. Great guy. Like when you see Fitzpatrick on TV, he looks like a lot of fun. He looks like a really cool dude. It's not an act. Like he's a really nice, good, like cool customer person. Like, he signed everything. He didn't just, blow me off when I got an autograph from him. He's a really good dude. So I always rooted for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I think the Jets did him wrong when he was here in New York. Yeah, that's just my opinion there. So, all right, we're about 7 minutes away. Does Chase play today? I'm thinking he does, and that he's going to be on a snap count. He'll be out there for third downs. He'll be out there in the red zone. 2-minute drill. That might be it. So Tyler Boyd, Irv Smith will get more work. Trent Irwin, that's the fallout there. And again, Brandon Powell, guys, I think he's a good pickup this week for Minnesota. Like, I think he has a good chance to score, considering the scenario with no KJ Osborne. And all right, so I didn't see that. So thank you, Del J. So we can Rappaport. There you go. There's nobody more tuned in than him other than maybe Adam Schefter. So Chase is playing. So again, that's what I just said 30 seconds ago. I thought he was going to play. So I didn't get any alert or anything. That's why I was surprised by that. Thank you, Del J. So he's playing. Now, do we have to downgrade him numbers wise? Yes. I mean, it's not going to be an every down thing. I really don't see that. And we have a $2 super chat, Mark Engelson. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Start Monty. I wait to see. No, I'm starting him. I have him already in. I put him in. I put James Conner in. This is what I've been waiting for, right? So the bottom line is this, Mark. He's going to get the goal line work. And this Lions team, this is the right matchup. The Chargers defense, take out that game against the Jets, which was fluky because the Jets had like third stringers playing on the offensive line. The Chargers defense has been bad. So they're going to move up and down the field. They're probably going to be in the lead because the Chargers continue to shoot themselves in the foot. So Montgomery will have a positive game script. He's going to get goal line carries. He might even have a catch or two. Start him. I think it's a good matchup. Thank you again for that super chat. So Boyd staying on waivers. Well, there's no T. Higgins, Steve, so you could still play him. And again, if Chase is playing, it might be limited. So I still would start Tyler Boyd. James Conner or Bijan Robinson. Oh man. First game back for Conner. I'm still gonna go Bijan Robinson, but I had to think about that one. I have Kamara, Hall, and ETN though, and even wow. I'm playing those three over Mark. Wow. I mean, over Monty. You're Mark. Sorry, Mark. That's a great trio. Like beyond great. All three of those guys were hits. It took obviously Hall a couple of weeks to get going. They are committed to the run today, by the way, the Jets. All week they've been talking about we're going to run it. So Breece Hall's looking like he's going to have a good day. ETN has been the best running back in fantasy. I don't think there's any question about it. Alvin Kamara on a per touch basis, maybe second best in fantasy behind ETN. He's not scoring touchdowns. That's why I give it to ETN. But man, on pace for 100 catches. So, but Taysom Hill is putting a hurt on him, no doubt about it. Pick 2 full PPR, Bijan, Deontay, and Walker, the first two, Tony. Walker, I don't trust him right now. Boyd or London, I'm going to go London. I think Taylor Heineke. Now we're going to get to see Taylor Heineke today with Drake London. I think it's going to be a good thing. Terry McLaurin put up some good numbers with Taylor Heineke, with the Commanders. And you're welcome, Rise. So I think it'll be okay. Hey, Aaron Hernandez, Kincaid, London. Again, I love the name. I say this to you every year. I love the name. I didn't love the player though, but I just think it's funny that that's your name, man. I'm sure you get a lot of shit for it. Kincaid, London, or Pickens in flex. That's tough. I'm gonna go Kincaid because I think he's got the best chance to score. So that would be my answer there. Ramondre Stevenson's looking really fresh today. So good start for him. I was all in on ATM last year, but so wrong about it. Yeah, I was all in on him coming into the summer, and then I backed away. I'm going to be 100% real. I backed away from him towards drafting season because of all the Tank Bigsby chatter, and he was not going to be the goal line back. That proved to be completely unfounded. So, ETN has been tremendous, no doubt about it. I couldn't believe Connor was dropped in my league. Yeah, that's stupid. We have 5 IR spots in my league. I don't know if you guys, let me ask you guys this. So in Yahoo leagues, and I deal with this every year, there's always somebody who brings this up. In Yahoo leagues, you're allowed to put a player who's out in the IR spot, even if they're not on IR. Like last week, Drake London, for instance, missed a game, and you could put him in the IR spot. Some people have voiced concern about this, saying that's not right. They should only go on IR if they're on the actual IR. But to me, as a commissioner in fantasy, I don't want to patrol this. Like, if the option is there, people are going to do it, right? I don't want to every week have to check everybody's lineup and be like, oh, he's only missing 1 game. He shouldn't be in the IR spot, right? So, and we had 5 IR spots. That was really because of the COVID year, and we haven't changed it, but we're going to change it next year, I think, to 2. But if Yahoo allows it, then that's just it, right? That's always been my opinion on that. 1 IR spot. Yeah, that 1 is too little, especially in today's game. I mean, look at the injuries this year. I have to say the injuries, we went through that really horrible stretch, like week 5 to 8 was really bad. At least it's quieted down a little bit of late. I traded Pacheco and Thomas for ETN. Wow. Great trade. And, listen, Pacheco was good up until of late. So yeah, he's I forgot who posted. It might have been Del J. Ja'Marr Chase is active, so that is now official. Didn't read anything in terms of what the snap share would be, but again, I don't think he's playing every down. Commissioner doesn't have an IR spot. That's stupid. You need to have an IR spot. Got Breece off waivers. Breece off waivers. Wow, man. Wish I was in those leagues, man. I'm telling you, that's crazy. The fact that you got Breece Hall off waivers. Who is a top 5 talent. But, and Nico Collins and Damian Pierce are both out as we suspected. So Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell to the moon today. So Breece Hall, ETN, like 2 of the top talented backs in all of football. Like there's no doubt about it. And honestly, before he got hurt, as far as just being a pure runner, great catch. Who was that on New England that just caught that? Number 7. Is that Douglas? I forgot what I was going to say. I totally lost track of what I was saying. I was watching and it looks like, Juju Smith-Schuster caught that pass. Nice job. J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins, just as a pure runner, is as good as, he's a top 10 guy. Like just as a pure runner. Like he's really good. Yeah, I don't do sleeper. I don't do this. I've always done Yahoo. I've never done another league. I'm just comfortable at Yahoo, and that's how we leave it. Although I don't like the fact that they're now charging you money to have extra added benefits to the league, like a 7th playoff spot and stuff. Javonte Mudley. Wow, Javonte Williams on IR, unbelievable. Mark Andrews and Laporta. I was thinking of starting both and putting Laporta on flex, but also mixing a bench because it's ATM locked in. I would play Mixon in the flex over Laporta, but I both of those guys are going to have good days today. Schefter just posted the same thing about Chase, Tyler Boyd season. Yes, Tyler Boyd. Chase. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so the fact that he's active, I still think Tyler Boyd needs to be started, just because no T. Higgins and the snap share just may not be there for Ja'Marr Chase today. All right, so New England's starting to move the ball. I can't believe it's still 7-3. Well, actually, I can believe it, but I expected more out of the Colts today. After week 1 loss, Dobbins and Eckler and Sanders. Yeah, oh my God. Miles Sanders has been as big of a bust as you could imagine. I thought when they handed him all that money, at least initially too, this season wasn't that bad. That's a horrible job by the Colts letting Mac Jones run for a first down. I'm sorry. And then they throw a late hit in there too. Although they didn't throw the flag. So, it's would I pick up Spears? Yes. I would hold Spears the rest of the season as long as Derrick Henry, if Henry gets hurt, then that would be an issue. KJ Osborne is out. Talking about Miles Sanders, yeah, they're gonna cut him at the end of the year. It didn't work. And he had a good year with the Eagles his last year with the Eagles. So I just don't get it. Ayuk or Dell. I'm definitely going Dell. He's going to be the number one guy. Keyshawn Vaughn inactive. Sean Tucker active. We don't really care about that. Ezekiel Elliott. Wow, he looks great in this game. He absolutely looks great. The Patriots look like they want to steal this game from the Colts. And that would be a really bad job. I think what is Indy 4-5. They really need this game. If Indianapolis, this is usually a very well-coached team. They need to win this game. Like, they just can't lose to the New England Patriots and Mac Jones. I mean, that would be a bad loss for them for sure. Hill or Ferguson? Hill. I'm going to go. I know Ferguson. The problem with Ferguson, I think he has a good chance to score, and Hill always has a good chance to score, is that the Giants, they're going to blow them out so badly they're going to call off the dogs. Whereas I think Hill's going to be a competitive game. Ayuk, Deontay, or Godwin. I like Deontay. I think it's a good matchup against the Packers. And Debo's back, so that's going to put a little bit of a crimp on Ayuk. Taysom Hill or Barkley. I'm still going Barkley. He's going to get 30 carries today. So Adam, the workload itself should, put a good, and even listen, he's had a lot of carries the last couple of weeks, and he's put forth productive outings, even with no quarterback there. Here we go. Need to improve to 7-3 after last week. Yeah, so I'm 7-3 in one league. Actually 7-2 in one league. Right, today's week 10. 7-2 and 5-4. Rashad White looking great. Yeah, listen, he's always going to be a great receiving back. He's not going to run the ball well. He's a under 4 yards per carry runner, which is not great. But again, workload is king. He's like a better version of Alexander Madison. The workload is going to be there, and that's going to buffer the numbers, give you a safe floor, and put you in position to put forth sizable numbers if all breaks right. Last week he got some goal line work, he converted, and that changed the whole tenor outlook of the game for him. All right, so I just want to let you guys know too, later on tonight, there will not be the wrap-up stream tonight. I have a coaches meeting. I have to have Zoom coaches meeting because, we're in the third round of the playoffs, so I'm not going to be able to do the wrap-up tonight, but I will do the Monday stream tomorrow. We will talk about all the games tomorrow, so don't miss tomorrow's stream. That's going to be tomorrow evening, probably around 6, so do not miss that one. We're going to go over all of these games, and I'll give you my, you may not get that emotional, screaming fit that I sometimes do on these Sunday night, when things don't go well, but I will cover it all for you tomorrow. Kyler Murray, no restrictions. Yeah, we'll see what happens. There will be some rust, but I do, I have him as a prime trade chip or insurance. It's active, inactive report. Yep, it's all out. The only real big name, that we were waiting on really was Jamar Chase, and he's playing. He's active. Well, Mark, last week, Pickens was there, and he did nothing, and Deontay went crazy, and he scored. My last week riding the Gus bus. We'll see. Keaton Mitchell's becoming a thing, so we'll have to see what happens there. I'm not sure. All right, guys, I'm going to jump out now, get myself ready for the games. I'm sure you all have to do that as well. This game is horrible between the Colts and the Patriots, so listen, good luck today. If I can try to squeeze in a wrap-up tonight, I will. All right, depending on how it goes. I won't promise you anything, but it's going to be hard for me to do it. But if I can jump on for a few minutes this evening, I will. So have that notification button hit. Good luck, Mark. Good luck to everybody. Lex, you as well. Have the notification button hit so in case I do jump on later, we'll be able to chat. All right, guys, enjoy your day. We will talk soon. Take care.